Are you looking to catch up on all the latest Jays action? Missed the series versus the Yankees and wondering how the Jays fared in the Bronx this past weekend? You are in the right place. This is Station to Station, our Jays series recap show here on Organized Chaos Sports. Following an off day, the Jays headed to New York for a 3-game series versus the Yankees. How did the Jays pitching staff fare against Judge and the rest of the Bronx Bombers? Could the Blue Jays make an early statement in the 2023 season? Stay tuned to find out. Thank you for listening, and we hope that you enjoy. Jays Yankees. The Jays rolled into the Bronx for a 3-game set against the Yanks. Dustin, I thought this was a big series here at the beginning, given where the Jays sit and given where the Yankees seem to have a similar record.
Yeah, a super fun series for me. I thought, every game was exciting. And, it's just great to see two, really good teams tee off. And to take away 2 or 3 wins is icing on the cake for sure.
Now let's roll into game one here. So we have lineup changes. Vladdy's actually at the DH position. Belt is first. Biggio's in at second, and Jansen is catching in game number one. Pitching matchup, we have Yusuf Kikuchi versus Domingo German. Kikuchi comes into this game 2-0 with a 4.70 ERA, 15.1 innings pitched, 17 strikeouts, and a whip of 1.24. So getting right into this game, the Jays really wasted no time. So Springer with a leadoff double in the top of the first. And then I would say the player of the series, both on and off the field, stepped to the plate and hit a 2-run home run. So for all the, the talking he did off the field, he definitely came through on the field as well. Now, bottom second, the Yankees strike back with a home run of their own, with Oswaldo Cabrera homering to right field. So the game is now 2-1. And it stays that way until the top of the sixth, where we have a Chapman walk, a Varsho fielder's choice, and then Brandon Belt comes to the plate and hits a 2-run home run to deep center field. So that brings the game to 4-1. Still nothing for the Yankees in this game other than that home run. Top of the eighth, we have a couple more runs. We have a Bo single, a Vladdy single. Chapman and Varsho unfortunately strike out. But then it seems like the player of the game, Brandon Belt, steps to the plate and hits a 2-run RBI double to right field. Yeah. That inning and the game end 6-1. The winning pitcher, Kikuchi, 6 innings pitched, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts. So he is now 3-0 with a 3.80 ERA on the season. So he, after having one shaky start there at the beginning, his numbers just keep getting better.
Yeah, 3-0 for Kikuchi. Love to see the guy that we all thought he had potential to be come out against a tough Yankees lineup in Yankee Stadium. It's it's more than we can ask for. So let's keep it up, Kikuchi.
Well, and I thought this game was a nice kind of opening salvo as well, where really the Yankees only got 1 run off of 1 swing, nothing really else. But I thought it was a great way to open the series on Friday night.
Yeah, it's a tough spot for the Yankees. They're a little bit banged up. They've had some pretty soft competition, and this is what happens when you actually face a team that's you know, coming at you and over 500.
All right, game two. We have some lineup changes. We have Varsho moves over to center field. Kirk at catcher. Belt moves back to his usual DH spot. Merrifield in left to cover off Varsho, and Espinal is in at second base. All right, pitching matchup for this one. I think it was the pitching matchup that we all look forward to. Uh, and I think it lived up to expectations. We have Alec Manoa, 1-1, 6.98 ERA, 19.1 innings pitched, 16 strikeouts, and a whip of 1.97. Going on the Yankee side is Garrett Cole, really their workhorse this year. And what we had was, I think, the first pitching duel of the season, Dustin.
A bounce back game from Manoa and a great, performance by Cole. Uh, this was a super fun game to watch. I for one love, the pitching duels, and it's great, uh, intense baseball. It's not easy, it's not for the faint of heart, but um, it's great to see Manoa bounce back. I thought, at the start of this series when you were asking me for predictions, you know, I thought he would have a good bounce back game and really get some fire in his belly to come up against the Yankees, and it seems like he did that.
Well, he definitely did, and I don't know if we were expecting that, but I think that this game had really it had that setting for Manoa to, the motivation. It's the Yankees. It's Yankee Stadium, but also the pitcher he was facing is Garrett Cole, and they've I think they've traded barbs over the past couple years. Now, top second, uh, the Jays do not score, but Santiago Espinal gets hit by a pitch on his wrist, and this wasn't uh, this wasn't a breaking ball that got awry. This was a heater, and he took it right on the wrist, and it looked quite painful. And as of recording, X-rays have come back negative, so it's good. He doesn't have a broken wrist or anything like that. Just probably a bad bruise. But he left the game, and uh, Kevin Biggio came in to replace him. This game was, as we said, a pitcher's duel. It actually there was nothing in terms of scoring until the bottom of the eighth inning, where Yimi Garcia comes on to replace Alek Manoah. As we said, Alek Manoah had a fine outing, and we'll detail his pitching line in a moment. But Yimi Garcia comes on, and the Yankees score 2 runs off an Anthony Volpe 2-run home run to right field. At that point, going into the top of the ninth, I usually don't think. I don't know. As much hope as you have. It seems like top of the ninth away is um, always kind of you know a letdown. But that top of the ninth actually proved to be quite interesting, where we have Kirk walking, and then Jansen steps to the plate as he was pinch hitting for Brandon Belt, and he golfed that ball right, a 2-run home run to left field, which was nice to see from a player who we all appreciate, but I don't think has definitely hasn't been lighting it up to start this year.
Well, as a Blue Jays fan, we've been trained that the Yankees always have a pretty shutdown closer to come out in the ninth. So whenever we're losing against the Yankees in the ninth, it's you know you're crossing your fingers, you're hoping for something to come back, and uh, you know 9 times out of 10 you don't. But Jansen definitely put a swing on that ball that uh, you know was a no doubter, at least in my mind once I saw the swing. So it was exciting, it was great, but it wasn't enough. And unfortunately, Romano who cough it up there in the ninth.
So Romano comes on not in a save situation, but to maintain the score. So he takes over for the aforementioned Yimi Garcia and gives up a double, a single, a walk, and then finally a pinch hit RBI single, and the Yanks walk off with a 3-2 win. Winning pitcher is Jimmy Cordero, losing pitcher Jordan Romano. Manoa's pitching line: 7 innings pitched, 2 hits, 0 earned runs, 1 walk, and 5 strikeouts. He's now 1-1 on the season, improves his ERA to 5.13, and his improves his WHIP to 1.56. Now, game three, rubber match of the series. I feel like I'm getting used to saying that. This is actually represents the most games played by a team in the major leagues on the road to start the year. So this is the Jays' 16th road game, more than any other team in the majors right now. So we'll talk about in a moment what the result was, but I think they've done quite well considering they've had that many games on the road.
Definitely. I mean, it may have something to do with the stadium renovations. Maybe, I know they started off with a pretty long road trip, and it may have been just to give some time in case there was some delays with that, something like that. But I think they went what 6-4 on the first road trip and 3-3 on this one. So it's good to see some strong performances on the road.
Well, this is another strong performance. And our lineup for this one, we have three changes. We have Kirk sliding over to DH, Merrifield at second base, and Jansen is our catcher. The pitching matchup: Kevin Gausman versus Clark Schmidt. Gausman comes into this game 1-2 with a 3.65 ERA. His WHIP is 1.18, and his opponent's batting average is 247. So we all know Gausman had that rough outing the last time out, but he definitely responded in this one.
Yeah, I think so. I think he really was on his game today, really sharp, and the Yankees just didn't know what to do. You know, it was uh, it was the kind of Gosman game that we're fortunately getting used to seeing. Um, despite some of his rough outings like the last one, it's great to see a bounce back, and he's still got it in him.
Well, and he pitched so well, and the Yankees pitcher actually pitched quite well as well. And really, we have no scoring until the top of the sixth, where Springer reaches on a fielding error by Anthony Volpe. There's a Bo fielder's choice, and then Vladdy steps to the plate again and hits a two-run home run to left field. And this was a frozen rope that was out of the stadium in a very quick fashion. Dalton Varsho, not wanting to miss out on the fun, hits a solo home run to right field, and this was quite the opposite of Vladdy's, where this was a towering home run, and the inning ends 3-0.
Yeah, back-to-back jacks. It's super exciting, especially when Schmidt looked like he was gonna no hit the Jays for a little bit there, but glad he's showing up for Yankee Stadium.
So top of the seventh, we have a Witt double, and then Jansen comes to the plate and he hits in a RBI double, which Witt scores on. That inning ends 4-0. We have another inning with more Jay scoring. We have a Chapman single. Kirk walks. Chapman then advances to third base on a Witt flyout, and then Chapman scores on a fielder's choice. The Yankees, not wanting to let the Jays have a shutout this series, uh, hit a solo home run in the bottom of the ninth, but Adam Simber closes it out and finishes the game. The game ends 5-1, and the Blue Jays win the series. So just to touch on Kevin Gausman's pitching line, it's quite good. 7.0 innings pitched, 3 hits, 0 earned runs, 0 walks, and 11 strikeouts. So his record improves to 2-2. His ERA is now at 2.84, and his WHIP is 1.01. So, but everything is kind of back where we want it to be with Gosman, and it was quite a good performance from him.
for sure. I think the entire pitching staff this series has shown up, and Gosman is slowly becoming the leader of that group, and in terms of just performance, and it seems like just poise and stamina on the mound, his ability to bounce back. I think Manoah's struggles early this season have been uh, probably for him something new. He hasn't really struggled all his way up through the minors, and his first year and a half at the majors has been pretty stellar. And you had the world's or the playoffs game last year, and then the first 2, 3 starts this year have been rough for him. And I think Gosman can kind of show him, what it takes to come back, to have a bad performance, and then show up in the next game. And I got to believe that there's at least some of that rubbing off on Manoah here with the way that he pitched against the Yankees, and hopefully that can continue.
Well, you touched on the pitching performance by all of the starters in the series, and I actually think that was one of the, I guess, themes in that. We did have a bit of offense, a couple home runs from Vladdy, but every pitcher in this series had a very good outing, and I think this is the first series where I think we can say that really, where most of the other series, although they have won the majority of them, there's always been one pitching performance either they lost the game as a result of, or they were just unable to, uh, they were unable to overcome um, that pitching performance and getting down early. Now, the Jays are now 13-9 and are fourth in the AL East. They're actually like like if you look at the standings now, they're actually still behind, but they are fourth in the AL East. They continue to chug along. This is their fifth series win of the season, and that's out of 7 series total. So they're 5 of 7, doing quite well here in 2023. All right, Dustin, time for player of the series.
Um, I think I know who you're gonna pick. So I'm gonna go off the board here, go a little bit out of the box, and I'm gonna say the starting pitching group of Kikuchi, Manoah, Gosman. Together they combined for 20 innings pitched, 9 hits given up in that 20 innings, 1 run, 3 walks, and 19 strikeouts to win the series. So, again, we touched on it a couple of times already. The pitching here has kind of really showed up, and you know, let's keep that going. That's great to see.
Well, normally I would throw a flag on that play as you are giving this player of the series to multiple players, but given the performance that all of those 3 did have, I'll let it slide. The My player of the series is Vladdy Guerrero. Uh, he had, I would say, a signature performance in New York after telling the world that he would never sign with the New York Yankees, which I absolutely loved. He proceeded to uh, score 3 runs. He had 4 hits, 4 RBIs, 1 walk, and 2 pivotal home runs. Both of them were 2-run shots. won, and he really showed that he's this in this particular series was the straw that stirs the drink. I think Bobichette had a bit of a rough series, and when you have someone right behind you picking it up, I bet that gives Bo some confidence that coming the next series that even if he does have maybe a couple rough games, there's someone right behind him in the lineup that's going to pick him up.
That's for sure. And, yeah, it's hard to it's hard to say. I guess for him, he had a rough series. He only got a couple hits, I think, um, and a walk or two. But yeah, it's this lineup is deep, and so no one guy has to be the guy on this team. Um, and there's a couple guys, maybe that came from other teams like Varsho and Chapman and Merrifield who, on their respective teams before the Blue Jays had to be the guy. And now, they're just one of many guys that on any given day can be the hero. And that's just the great makeup of this team. This lineup is got to be scary for opposing pitchers.
Well, the Jays come home now for a 6-game homestand with an off day on Thursday. The first series is against the Chicago White Sox. They are currently 7-15 in the AL Central, and that leaves them in fourth position. Pitching, we have our three pitchers for this series are Bassett, Barrios, and Kikuchi. Dustin, wondering if you can give me some thoughts on the White Sox and a prediction as well.
Yeah, honestly, I haven't been following the White Sox all that much. I know that, they're kind of a middling team. I think they're probably better than their record. Um, but, they're in kind of a soft division in general. But with the balanced schedule, maybe the divisions aren't as relevant as they used to be. I think coming in home after this pretty good um, road series, I think the Blue Jays are going to feel pretty good. Um, the pitching has been sort of, heating up. Everybody's had a pretty good outing in the last 5 games, including Barrios. So I got to believe that we can take at least two from the White Sox.
So you're predicting a series win with and 2 wins. Is that correct?
Keep the series wins rolling. Yeah, that's what I'm predicting.
Well, I think if the Jays keep on throwing up series wins, most of the time, I think that's going to bode well for that record at the end of the season.
Definitely. Yeah, I mean, take two out of every three. I mean, that's a 100-win plus season.
All right, well, that's all the time we have. Thank you, everyone, for listening.
This has been Station to Station here on Organized Chaos Sports. We will be back on Thursday to discuss the first series of a 6-game homestand versus the Chicago White Sox. Could the Jays keep the strong early season momentum going? Thank you for listening, and until next time.